Hello and welcome. If you're watching this, then you probably want to learn how to play the Light Assault. Well, I, Boxpug, will be showing you some tactics and skills I use to help me stay alive in line of fire. This video will not be about gunplay. It will mainly be about uh, player skill, little personal tips and tricks you can use to make sure you kill the enemy and they can't kill you. For the first part of a Light Assault, you gotta realize that we are squishy, and squishy means that you die very easily. And aside from slurring a bit, I am a little drunk at the moment. Here in a minute, you will see me use a smoke grenade. I recommend smoke grenade on all classes of Light Assault, since we have pretty crappy range, to be honest, and the smoke takes care of that in most situations, allowing us to close the distance indefinitely. Now, to understand Light Assault, you must first understand your weaknesses. That is, our low range and our low health. Now, even if you don't kill an enemy, like I fell to there, I do not chase him into his own jungle, because then I am much more likely to get myself killed by him or one of his buddies. Instead, whether you kill him or not, you attack and you fly back. You run and hit, run and hit. That is the whole key of a Light Assault. For starters, there's so many ways to play a Light Assault. Uh, for instance, there's close range people who like to use shotguns and submachine guns, and then there's some a little bit longer range people who like to use carbines like I do. I think a carbine looks great for a Light Assault, especially if you're high up. So I usually don't use any suppressors on any of my guns. If you can see right here, I'm using C4. For those of you who are not familiar with the C4, it takes about a second after you lay it down for you to actually detonate the C4 charge itself, so you usually want to be able to sneak up on the enemy, because if they see you and they get that full second to take you out, then you're probably not going to be able to detonate it, and then you're just going to end up wasting 25 nanites. When playing a Light Assault, one of the keys is simply to attack and, hit and run. That's the whole goal. You gotta forget, which I see a lot of Light Assaults don't do, is use your jetpack to your advantage. We have jetpacks, no other class does. It's very unlikely that you can encounter anybody else up on the same rooftop as you, unless they're of course a Light Assault. And that's usually the last place most people check. And a head-on-head fight, usually like one like this, which a laser sight would have saved my ass. But in most head-on-head fights, we will probably lose unless you are just a better shot. And even then, if they are just slightly out of your range, which is about 40 meters using a carbine for most effective ranges anyways, you're probably going to lose the fight. So the whole goal of a Light Assault is not to charge in, not to go into the line of fire. We are so good at flanking and dodging and jetpacking up above these... I'm sorry. I really am drunk. Where was I? Jumping up and then attacking the enemy. So what you're gonna want to do is just attack and jump like I did, and just get out of the line of fire, get yourself someplace you won't be seen, that you can flank, because it doesn't matter how good they are or how much nano weave or force armor that Heavy has. If you come up behind him, he's as good as dead, unless of course he's too far away, but then you would just be stupid to engage. You can see several times throughout this video that I attack unaware opponents, and then I lost that one because I'm a shitty shot. But one of the important ways of handling this game is simply stay the line of fire. I'm pretty sure in this part I did a bad job of that. Wind right up on top of a bridge, which ain't bad, but right into the enemy fire, which is just a straight fight across this bridge, which I should have gone under or got on top of the building or went through the jungle. But I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think I even knew the enemy was actually there at the moment. When playing a Light Assault, getting up behind the opponent is key. And if you're up behind a group of them, I don't recommend using a silencer in most Light Assaults. There are definitely cases where it could come in handy, because you sneak up behind them, you have a suppressor, you could kill 15 of them compared to 3, since now you're there using your compensator, your flash suppressor. But if you know how to use your knife, it is a fantastic way to Light Assault coming up behind the enemies. You can go whole Jason Voorhees on them. I've killed 20, 30 enemies in a row, just coming up behind their Sunday. And just a huge line of them. They are so oblivious, because you kill so fast with the knife, and they're all facing the opposing threat, which is right in front of them, not behind them. Again, a light assault, just the whole point is strafing. You gotta remember, we use carbine, shotguns, and submachine guns, so that means we are very light, light assault, aka, and very fast. Heavies, especially when you use their shield, are nothing more than sitting ducks. You can beat a heavy, I've done it many, many times, if you just know how to move left and right. You use that A and that D key, and you just strafe as much as you can. It's usually better to mix up directions after about every half second is what I usually go for, but it's not like I'm counting. Um, but yeah, strafing and more importantly, just coming up behind the enemy. If you attack, kill or not, and relocate, most enemies aren't yeah, prepared to fight you. They can't seem to handle you that well. So just attack and move. Kind of think of yourself as a sniper in a way. You know, pick off your target and choose a new location, and then keep doing what you're doing. Unless, of course, you have a suppressor, then it doesn't really matter. But the whole point of light assault is you're not the front lines fighter. You're not an engineer for turret, and more importantly, you're not a heavy or a max. You got to get up high above them, and that's what C4 is so great for. You get C4 in a building, you can come up behind 3 or 4 opponents, or maybe even multiple maxes, lay a C4 down from the rooftop and rain hell, and that is one of the best way to get points. And one thing I've noticed about most light assaults I see playing, they seem to run right with the crowd. As a light assault, there's no reason to stick with the pack. You're a lone wolf. That's the whole point. You're supposed to support the group from the rooftop, because unless there's another light assault, they can't go where you can go. Don't stick with the group. I mean, of course you gotta overwatch them, but light assaults are also a support class of their own. They're supposed to support the group they're with, which is really good. They're really good at that. If there's a big fight, just use your mini-map, try to figure out where the big fight's going on, where the entry points are, where the choke points are in the battle, and try to flank that. So many times people, I see light assaults get caught up in doorways and just blown to shreds because they don't have the armor or the firepower to handle that. Versus when they could get on a rooftop or on a window and start laying hell, laying C4, it's not that hard. I think light assault's one of the easiest classes to play. If you're doing it wrong, you just die in line and you can't get it. Light assault is not perfect for every situation. For instance, I hardly ever even pull out light assault if I'm on Esamir. It's just the nice flat open plains are great for snipers and heavies and NGs of AV turrets, but a light assault needs cover. They need more than anything vertical incline. And so Hassan is my favorite for a light assault because you can really do some damage. You can just kill and shift locations, and there's just too much area for the enemy to search to really get you. So it's just knowing when to pull your light assault, and if you just follow these tips, you know, dodge and weave, close to distance, don't engage, don't give yourself away, and then just rain hell. Just do what you can, and remember to relocate. If you like what you see here, you follow me on Twitch. The name's Monkey Flip in the description. I'm also got some other YouTube videos we're putting up, and I need to go to bed. I had way too much to drink. But that's what you get when you're in Hyperion or Drunk Division. Alright, I hope this helped you off. Any comments? Feel free to let me know. And if you're ever on Commerce, hit up Boxbug.